Hello.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's almost Christmas and the holidays? I mean, wow. Like, whew, came so quickly.
Okay. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I kind of I mean, I don't know. I want to give up on live streaming. Can I
What?
just feels good just to say that, to put it
No,
out into the
Paul.
world.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. What's the point? What does it matter?
Well, okay. I know that you've had a few weeks where you haven't been feeling it, but like, give it up completely?
Yeah, done. And you might think, like, Paul, this sounds like you're joking. It sounds like you're using a joking voice. No, this is me being 100% serious. I'm tired of it. What does it matter? I'm not making any difference. I wish I never live streamed. Wish I never did.
Oh, well, okay. Let's step back. Let's take a breath.
No, I won't. I mean, I'll breathe. I'll continue to breathe and live, but I don't want to do live stream anymore. I'm done with it.
But
Done.
but wishing okay, it's one thing to say this isn't right, but
I
wishing
wish
that
I was
you
on
had
a bridge right
never
now and
live
it was
streamed.
snowing. Oh, I wish it was snowing. Thank God I got that.
Well, you got one thing. But
One
we're
thing.
gonna have I'm gonna show you some tough love, Paul, and we're gonna have a conversation about this because I'm not just gonna let you get away with this. We're gonna think about what this really means. Okay?
I don't
Okay.
want to. I don't want to. What's the point? What's the point?
The point is
Yeah?
there's some stuff that you need to consider if you're thinking of just wishing that this was all gone and that you could just never have heard of live streaming. So we're gonna unpack this a little bit, and I'm gonna be tough but fair, tough but fair. So, are you willing to go there? Just take a few minutes and go there.
What's the point? We got people trolling us right now saying, "What's up, WandaVision?" What? How? This is the life that I want? No, I give up. I don't want to do live stream more. I wish I never was born a live streamer.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
let's let's talk about this
Thanks for letting me get
calmly.
that dramatic rant
Yes.
off my chest.
Yeah, sometimes we need to vent, and I can tell that you are frustrated and that this is something that you're starting to question and
Hmm.
figure out, is this actually worth doing? But let's rewind. So, okay, let's imagine. Let's just imagine that all of a sudden you never heard of live streaming. It wasn't a thing, with the
Hmm.
exception of what we're doing right now. Let's
Sure.
pretend everything else was gone.
Okay.
What would your life be like if there was no live streaming at all? It was gone. You never heard of it. It was never a thing.
Well, I'd have more money. That's for sure.
True. That is 100% true. Yes.
That's true. A
But
Sony
but what
6400
else?
and a 16 millimeter lens don't by themselves, so I would have more money.
They don't. They definitely don't. I can't argue with that. You would have more money.
Hmm.
But what
Hmm.
else would be different?
Well, I mean, just hypothetically, purely hypothetically,
Hmm.
I would, not during this whole time have as many people to connect with,
Yeah.
which, that, okay, I don't like what you're doing, but I'll play along. I'll play along with your game, cat. That I
Yeah,
guess.
these people who are Cassandra and who's love audio production. Like, who are these people? You wouldn't
Well,
know them.
one of them, well, they're both awesome. One of them can iron a great pair of pants. And I guess that, okay, my live streaming didn't teach me that, but watching somebody else live stream taught me how to properly talk to a camera while ironing pants. And that was nice, I guess. So, and I mean, CK is an awesome person. So, I mean, friendships, I guess I made a lot of friends. That's been,
Yeah. So those would
you,
all be gone.
no, I don't like this, cat. You're making me feel feelings, and I just wanted to walk away. I wanted to quit, and I wanted to walk away, and now I got feelings. This isn't good.
Yeah. Because this is part of your life now. And so your life would be very different if you never had live streaming. I mean, would you even play Jackbox games? Would that be a thing? What if all of those were erased?
No, that's true. I would have laughed less. That's true. If I didn't have live streaming, I would have laughed less because I wouldn't have as much time with people. And yeah, that's a good point. That's a
Mhm.
great point. So I guess also one good thing live streaming has done, and it's a short list, such a short list cat of good things, that it allowed me to learn how to express myself and share my feelings, and I guess it taught me to realize that my feelings are valid and they're not something I should, lock away, because I think at some point, I thought I should kind of just bury them and not share them. Oh, look, the snow stopped. As if these revelations are stopping a cold winter day. Oh, I don't like that metaphor at all. Why is this?
Nope.
What's so funny, Kat? I am seriously thinking about
Yes.
leaving this behind, and you're laughing. I didn't know this
I'm
is funny.
laughing at your snow metaphor. But I think your point prior to that snow metaphor was a very valid one of learning to show up, show your true self, the good, the bad, and the meh, all of it, being honest and putting yourself out there and just telling the truth to how you feel. I mean, I think that that has connected you with a lot of people
Wait,
and has helped them.
the good, the bad, and the mad. We use that phrase in this show.
Yes, but that wouldn't be a thing if you had never heard of live streaming before.
That's true. That hilarious pun wouldn't exist.
No.
That would be bad to keep from people. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. You know
Mm-hmm.
what's kind of funny, Kat? Like before live streaming, I almost felt like a snow man inside my heart
And what do you
because
feel like now?
I was cold and walled off like a like snow. Kind of works.
It is
Um,
cool.
what do I feel like? Well, I feel like, honestly, I feel like every time I get a chance just to hang out and connect and teach on live streaming, I do feel better. I do feel a lot better. That's true. Damn it.
Mhm.
Now,
I
man,
mean, you'd be throwing all of that away. I don't like, all those amazing guests that we've had on here. We wouldn't have had that. All that would be gone. It would be erased.
that's true. Can I put up some things people have shared?
Yeah, please do.
I don't. These are making me feel things now too, and I don't want to feel things. Wait, why aren't they working?
Yeah,
Nothing ever works. Nothing ever works in live streaming.
we, perhaps we could say, instead of putting up the timer, we could just say what they've shared.
Finally,
Oh, here we
something
go. It's
works.
working. It's working.
Love Audio says, "We are your friends. That's who we are, and without live streaming in your life, you would have had our connection."
Hmm.
Well, that's true, and that's
He's
true,
right.
and he really positioned it in a way that, yeah, that's a powerful. Well, let's see what CK says. Yeah, if all the people you've met through live streaming didn't exist, if you told Thanos to snap his finger and take live streaming all away, well,
That's a powerful metaphor. This little
mhm.
snap and poof. All those connections, all those friendships. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty big to give up.
Classic, classic three Thanos snap. How great would
Three.
it have been in the movie if he did that? You done. Get out of here, Captain America. You out, Spider-Man. See you later, everybody, or half everybody.
Yeah, and it looks like CK also said that she would be missing out because she wouldn't be able to mod Jackbox games on your streams. And what would she do? And you do your drunk fruit cider tasting segments. Those would be gone. You'd be
That's
taking that
true.
away,
I
taking that
buy
away
so
from
much
her.
alcohol, and if I didn't, that would hurt the economy. And
Yes.
if I wasn't
Yeah.
streaming, then I probably wouldn't drink as much, and that would hurt the economy. Boy,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, love the black and white. Rich, I don't understand that one, but okay. I don't get that reference, but I guess. Oh, because I have a black and white cat? I get it. I get what you're saying, Rich. Yeah, sure. That black and white cat is nice. You know what? I guess, yeah, the fact that I'm able to learn how to express myself and, and share my thoughts and learning how to connect with people. That's actually been really nice live streaming, like learning how to connect with people and just kind of riffing on topics. Honestly, I think it's helped make me a funnier person too. That
Yeah.
it allows me just to like explore ideas with other people in the chat. So,
I mean, that all sounds pretty good. And I would think that kind of outweighs the bad. I mean, what was so bad that you wanted to just give it all up?
what was so bad?
Yeah, like why were you thinking that you just wanted to never have heard of it before?
Let me tell you. I was last night I was live streaming and I had this really funny bit prepared. But then it wouldn't trigger. It wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, here I am struggling. Why am I struggling? Why am I putting myself through this? Almost as if I'm putting myself through this to connect with people. Is that worth it? Maybe. I think it is. I'm learning a lot.
I think that yes, there are frustrations. It doesn't always work. People don't always show up, but all this benefit that you have gained, I mean, that's pretty incredible. So I would say don't wish that it was not a thing and instead just embrace it for what it is, all of it, the ups and the downs.
Wait a second. Are you saying be happy because it happened, Kat?
Maybe a little. I've been known to throw a little bit of that positivity around.
Jax,
But,
I'm a little confused. Is my phone broken? You guys look old. Well, I mean, we're both 39, but I don't know. That seems kind of like quite a shot, Jax. I think we look pretty good for our age. I don't. Whew, Jax. Whew, really letting them fly. Well, you know what? You know what, Kat? This talk helped me. I think, you know what? I'm not going to give up on live streaming. I think I'll keep doing it because it does offer a lot, and it does give me a great way to connect with people and hang out.
yeah, and I mean, I think that you've realized all of that benefit that you have brought to other people. And I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of, a lot of my live streams before I kind of decided to take a break, I wasn't really having people show up and I wasn't able to connect that way. And now that I think about it, it's kind of depressing. And I don't know if I want to go through that again if I start back up.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of nervous about moving forward with live streaming and kind of wondering if maybe this is actually a good idea for me at all.
Wait, you have doubts about live streaming?
Yeah, I mean, your streams always have people that are showing up and connecting and you're laughing and having a great time. And I don't know, what if I put myself out there again and start up again and nobody comes? That's making me really uncomfortable right now if I think about it.
Oh no, more doubt, Snow. Listen, Kat, I think. Listen, you know what? You helped me through my desire to quit, so I'm gonna be here for you and talk you through this. So, why do you think? No, let's start where you start with me. What good has happened? What good has happened from live streaming? What good stuff? Don't focus on the bad. Like, what are the things? If you never live streamed, if you gave it up, what do you think would happen?
Well, I mean, if we put aside the fact that doesn't always have people showing up and all of that, if I think about the good side,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have to admit that I'm more comfortable on camera, and we have so many situations where we have to be on camera now because we're all stuck at home, and I'm a lot more myself, and I can kind of laugh at myself a little bit more, and that's been pretty refreshing now that I think of it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is
But,
fantastic.
yeah, not sure
And
that
what
would
about
have
all the
happened.
education? Like you give people. You're right. Like I definitely I make people like laugh and relax, but like you share and give people so much knowledge. Like that's a huge gift.
I guess if I had never live streamed before, I actually wouldn't have any of these skills and wouldn't be teaching people about how to do all of this, because one of the main reasons I learned is so that I could do this type of stuff and do live presentations and reach and connect and teach people. But I don't think I would have actually learned, I don't know, 80% of the stuff that I've learned if I never ever came across it. So you bring up a good point.
Kat, remember when you just thought NDI was 3 letters in the alphabet?
Yeah, it was not long ago.
Remember that when you
Not
were
long
just
ago at
like,
all.
NDI, those are just 3 random letters, but now that means so much. Remember that moment that you learned how to do things on NDI and just the joy you felt as you ran down the halls shouting, "Look what I can do."
Yeah, and I still don't know what it stands for all the time, but I know what it does and I know how to set it up.
I think it stands for National Defense Initiative. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. That is 100% right.
Not doing anything, but the last word is misspelled.
So, you know what else I just thought of that I have to
What?
admit?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever would have started my Ditching Diets and Die channel.
That's exploded. That's huge. You have gotten so much value and joy out of that.
Yeah, and that probably wouldn't be a thing. I don't think I would have come up with that idea if I had never gotten into live streaming. So and that's meant a lot to me. The people who are reaching out, that's really something. So I'm not sure I can give it all up.
And if I could ask, like, what is that largest video right now? How many views? How many people have that helped?
I've lost track.
Wow, that's quite the flex.
I think no, that's not what I meant. I just haven't actually looked.
I think it's over 30,000, isn't it?
It is. It is. I think it's over 35. I got a little bit obsessive with checking the stats and I thought, this isn't helpful. I'm going to step back, focus on comments from people who are watching them and not focus on the number. So,
And I was just making a bad joke about a weird flex. And 35,000 views, I mean, you can probably think at least 33,000 people have been helped. 2,000 of those are probably just a bunch of weird dudes who are watching it multiple times. But 33,000, that's a lot of people that you've helped.
It seems that way. I feel like I'm starting to maybe warm up a little and maybe some of that doubt is starting to evaporate.
Oh,
metaphorically.
I get it. Oh, look, the skies. They cleared. What a coincidence.
Funny how that happens.
It's funny how that happens. Kat, I can just you know what? Our friendship. If you had never live streamed, we would never have a friendship and we'd never have this show together. That'd be sad.
That is actually, that would be very upsetting. I look forward to doing this show on a weekly basis. And yeah, we would have never met. We would have not done a live every day in August challenge and become friends and started this project together. So that would all be gone. Poof.
Are you ready to have your mind blown? CK wouldn't understand what the heck her Enneagram is. You've made me understand the power of a number 8. A number 8!
Number 8 is powerful, the challenger. That warms my heart a lot.
I knew that one would get to you. I knew that one would get to you.
Got me right there, right in the heart.
All the feels.
And I see a question of what is NDI? Okay, so for serious, I don't always know what it stands for. I think it's like Network Dynamic Interface. Is that correct? However, I can tell you what it does is you basically create a network in your home so that your computers can talk to each other and you can split the processing power across devices and then bring them in like a camera. And it's pretty impressive and I've found it really useful.
Do you mind if I kind of access my memory for a second?
Mm-hmm.
So NDI, if I remember correctly, is Network Device Interface. It's a royalty-free software standard development by NewTek to enable video-compatible products. And
Paul, you got some noise going on in the background there.
Yeah, you know, that's a bad moment to start a Roomba. You would think people in this place would realize Roombas are loud. And you know what? My life without a Roomba, totally fine.
Just more
100%. I'm trying to find the app to turn it off because that is... Oh, there we go.
Live streaming.
Everything always goes great.
I never would have thought to, there's turn off notifications, all that stuff, but I never would have thought, make sure my robot vacuum doesn't start going in the middle of a live stream. So that's
Yeah,
new.
give me a second. I'm going to program it so it goes to the trash and puts itself in. Great. It's all programmed. It's gone forever. Well, I feel like we both had a lot of breakthroughs.
We did. I think so. Feeling a lot better than I did when we started. Well, I was feeling good, and then you kind of brought me down a little, but then you brought me back up. So, thank you.
It's been a roller coaster. I started down, I went up, you started up, went down, and went back to up. So, what a journey.
Right in time for the holidays. Kind of get some of that positivity, the holiday spirit, that gratitude, and that gratefulness for live streaming and what it has done and what it has meant, not only to us, but to the other people that we have connected with or that maybe we have taught somehow. I mean, it's all good. It's very exciting.
It's been pretty awesome. Put this up.
Yes, I love it.
Hey, everybody.
That's a great little meme. Great meme.
I was watching the movie and I'm like, oh, the bell rings. Well, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, Mr. Potter.
It is. So full disclosure for everyone watching, when we discussed this idea, I said, I have to admit, I have never actually watched the full movie. I've seen scenes. I'm pretty sure it's played in the house while I was growing up and I left the room. So I sat myself down and I watched all 2 hours and 12 minutes of that movie.
And you are right. You messaged me. You're like, boy, they really took a while getting to it. Like the whole moment of change with Clarence and I was honest with you. I've never seen the whole thing. I literally thought that was everything that I knew about the movie. I thought that was the opening scene where he was on the bridge. Spoiler alert, that doesn't happen until like 90 minutes into the movie.
No, it's a lot of lead up to get to the good part. And I was like, when are we getting to this part where, like, because I know the premise, but man, and I think they just jammed that all in the last 18 minutes. Spoiler.
Yeah, Frank Capra. I don't know, man. You really pacing that thing out. You're really letting that script breathe.
But
also,
well, I was just gonna say that I would really like to hear. I know a couple of you commented in the chat about live streaming and Paul and I, but I would actually love to hear, because I know we have fellow live streamers who are watching right now. Let us know what would be different if you had never found live streaming, because I think it's a legitimately good question to reflect on, of thinking about if you never stumbled into this just wasn't a thing, all of the things that would change. And I know for me, and I think also for you, Paul, our lives would be very, very different right now. So it's just a really good reflection.
Yeah, and in full transparency, I mean, I do have moments where I'm like, oh, what am I doing this for? And I think that's kind of what inspired the bit. But it is a really great moment to kind of reflect on if it was gone, if I just didn't have it, if I never discovered it, what would be different? And a lot would be different, and a lot of things that I would miss. Um, some things I wouldn't miss. Writing scripts in vMix, probably wouldn't miss it, but when it works, that's actually a pretty awesome feeling. So maybe I
Yep.
would miss it a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Hey,
I'd like to
Dr. Elo.
say, yeah, hi, Dr. Elo. We are just talking about what would happen if you never discovered or got into live streaming, how your life would be different. And the other thing that was in my head a moment ago and decided to just leave, and I was hoping by the time I finished this sentence, it would come back,
Stretch it
but it
out. Stretch
hasn't.
that sentence out.
Just here we go. It's back. Okay, something that never probably would have happened is me willing to improvise a scene on live YouTube because that's new. That wouldn't be a thing before, I don't think. Or it would have taken me much, much longer to get to a place where I was comfortable enough to say, you know what, let's wing it and let's improv some, let's do a scene. And even though it was not flawless,
I don't know. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys enjoy your improv? All of that totally unscripted. No prompters, no teleprompters. We just made all that up. So I hope you guys
Mhm.
enjoyed it. I thought you did great. Honestly, I thought that was super fun. I enjoyed just doing the scene with you. So even if I think people enjoyed it. I'm a person and I enjoyed it. So I imagine other people out there enjoyed it as well.
And if you didn't like it, don't troll us.
Look at this. Look at this from Rich. Thank you very much. That's a 5. Oh, did not change the colors on that yet.
The comments are black and white. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Rich. That's really nice. I've got
Thank you, Rich.
Jax. Wait, it wasn't real? It was a scene?
Acting. It's an illusion.
Also, I saw earlier that there was comment of my audio. Full disclosure, Cassandra or CK who brought it up, she knows. But yes, I have a new microphone. And if I can share a story, I was not supposed to have this microphone for today's show, but I ruined my Christmas present yesterday. So I got it early. And if I may share what happened, I've been talking about this. This microphone has been on my wish list for a while. I don't know if you can see if I lift it up here. It is the Shure MV7. And I have wanted this for a long time because, as I have, I think, mentioned before, my Yeti, which I was using previously, I don't recommend it. It picks up way too much. We've had guests here, Phil, who's my partner, who's on another floor of the house, and they can hear him. Anyway, didn't want that. So I've been talking about this microphone for a while. There's a local shop that sells it. And I've been talking about wanting to get that, like really invest in good audio. And I heard on Monday that our province, so I live in Ontario and the province is locking down starting Boxing Day. And then they're going to lock down for a month to just really try and curb, because the numbers of cases just keep growing. So they're trying to curb it, and they know people are going to travel over the holidays. So they're shutting everything down. So I said, hey, I just got paid today from a client. I think I'd like to invest in this microphone. And Phil looks at me. He's like, I really think you shouldn't. To which
Wink,
I
wink,
realized,
wink.
I just ruined a Christmas present, which is an amazing Christmas present, but I definitely ruined it. And then he's like, well, now that you know, do you want it now instead of waiting a couple of days? And so I said, you can choose. And so he gave me the Christmas present a few days early. So now, even though I feel really bad about ruining the surprise, because
It
it's an
sounds
amazing
great.
surprise, I am so happy with it and so excited. So yeah, I kind of ruined it. And yeah, but I'm so happy with it. So double thanks to Phil for this amazing present, but also he made the thumbnail that we use today. He's a little bit of a Photoshop whiz, and so he took It's a Wonderful Life, a screenshot of one of the many covers, and created our thumbnail. So wanted to give
And
him thanks for that.
And I did not notice this, but it's super worth going and checking out because it's such a cool little touch that he didn't even tell you this part, right? You noticed
No,
this. If you
no,
notice
he
the
had to
quote,
tell me.
what?
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice either. He had to tell me.
Oh, okay, I didn't notice it. The quotation marks on around our title are little headphones. So go check it out. It looks awesome. He did an
Yeah,
amazing
that's
job.
totally him. He did that on his own. He added in that little graphic of the headphones that in the thumbnail we are both wearing. Although right now I'm wearing my little in-ear headphones now.
Check out that compliment. You're a great actor. Hmm? Huh? Look at
Re-rapid
that.
act surprise because you're a great actor.
Phil, for me? What?
Can I share that made me think of something from when I was growing up? Um, when I was in school and younger, so we're talking single digits, early double digits, when we would have a play, I would often get the narrator role. And I interpreted that as you're a terrible actor. So just read. I never
Really?
actually, it wasn't until way later that I was
Mm.
like, oh, I'm actually a good speaker.
Hmm.
It's not actually judgment on how bad of an actor I am. It's actually, hey, you can be a narrator because of your ability to speak. And I didn't have a lot of the verbal stutters and whatnot. So but I totally misinterpreted it, and I had a bit of a complex for quite a while until I was an adult that I was not. Don't put me in the scene, just have me on the side reading.
Oh
Funny
wow,
how I do that.
that's funny how you interpreted that. But I could understand that because you're like, oh no, I'm just kind of the voice. People aren't like applauding me or anything. I'm just kind of this steady through line through this entire piece, and everybody else is the one who gets applauded and stuff.
Well, the narrator's not acting. They're not even always on the stage. So I definitely took it as like a hint to move on over. Anyway, that just made me think about it.
Well, look at your skills. Everybody loves your acting. So
Well, we can't say that definitively, but a few people enjoyed it.
that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to make it seem so positive. Be sure be sure to put in a little bit of doubt on your skills. Well,
Keeps us on our toes.
sorry.
Keep on doubting.
Keeps you hungry, keeps you gritty, keeps you learning and striving.
Okay, so I'm seeing a comment from CK and I don't actually understand the reference. I should never be on the 1MC again. What does that mean?
I was told I should never be allowed to be on the 1MC again. I don't know. She also said she was watching this laying down, so maybe she was like accidentally tapping certain buttons and she's trying to say
On the mic?
on the mic. Oh,
No way.
yeah? The one mic?
That mic drop. I have no idea.
I'm looking
What
this
was that?
up. What does 1MC mean? Come on, Google. Oh,
Ah.
one main circuit. Did she say that?
Well, no, Rich said it's how they announce things on the Navy ships.
Okay.
Yeah, CK, you got to give us a little more background than that. We're not all from the Navy.
We don't all know the 1MC is a term for the shipboard public address circuits on the United States Navy and United States Coast Guard vessels. Got it.
So were you one of the people that they say keep her away from there? She's just gonna take over. Like now that you've got, there are people once you give them a mic, you're like, ooh, they are gonna love this and just go to town with this. So I'm curious if that was what's going on, or if it was something else.
Hey, everybody on the Navy ship. Welcome to the CK show. I'll be here with you the next hour, taking you from midnight to 1 a.m. You're trying to sleep. We're trying to have a good time. Welcome to the CK show.
Who's ready for some antics?
Who's ready for my Baby Yoda impressions? I'm just going to eat right into this microphone.
CK has CK's antics. So that was a specific shout out to CK's channel, CK's antics. Now, Paul, I mentioned my fun update with my new microphone
Mhm.
slash ruining Christmas. I'm just curious is there any update from you or how things are going on the live streaming front?
So I have yes. I started learning how to write scripts in vMix, which has been hugely helpful because I can just hit one button and trigger a bunch of different things, and I can spread those things out over seconds. So it's been really great because when I do like game streams, I need to go in and hit a bunch of buttons and spread those out like 1 second apart, like the
Mhm.
wind and the sound effects. But now I have those all set up in a script. So I hit one button and the whole event is spread over 6 or 7 seconds, and I don't have to hit a bunch of things. So it's just ease of life, which is great.
Yeah, automating those things. That's a great idea.
Lifesaver. Um, I was super excited. One thing I've started doing, which has helped my live streaming, is staying up late at night and not going directly to bed. And actually, I think
It,
you
it's
inspired
helping your
this.
live streaming.
This helped my live streaming, and you inspired this because you will tell me sometimes that you can't get to sleep, and you actually just spent the time writing down a ton of ideas. And I was
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
wait a second. What if my brain has ideas at night? Turns out Turns out it does. Um,
Yeah.
so one thing I've been doing is, like, purposely just laying in bed, not going to sleep, and just kind of, like, letting my mind wander down, like, any path, and then writing
Oh,
everything
interesting.
down. And
Yeah.
that's been actually really cool because the next day, I'm like, "Oh, I wanna learn that. I wanna do that. I wanna try that," and then just knocking those out. So,
And once you get them out of your head, are you able to fall asleep more easily?
no, because I can fall asleep real easily. Like, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
have I mean, I weirdly like, when I go to bed, I'm like, "Well, time to sleep. Shut it all down. Turn my brain off."
Yeah.
So what I'm trying not to do is turn my brain off, and in those quiet moments, allow myself to wander and just kind of like, wonder about things. Like, ask myself questions and be
Just
like,
see what emerges.
yeah, see what merges. And when I like something and I'm like, "Oh, let's see how could I explore that? How could I do that on the channel?"
Okay,
So,
so mine's insomnia and yours is a deliberate choice. Gotcha.
yes, sorry. I'm not
No,
saying yes.
it's totally okay. I don't have it all the time. It's just usually when there's a lot on my mind, I just cannot turn the brain off. So that's why I just get up and I write, and I try not to ever turn on a light or a screen. Well, I'll turn on a little bit of a light so I can see my writing, but I won't go to a screen or anything like that, and just pour everything out until then I feel like I've got it all out on paper, and then usually I can fall back to sleep. So that's one of my approaches. I Dr. Elo says, best ideas are on the throne. I was gonna say shower. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people get great ideas when they're in the shower. They're sort of on autopilot, not paying super close attention to what they're doing. And that's when sometimes ideas can emerge. But hey, if it's, you know, if it's the throne, great.
Hey, maybe he has like an all-in-one where there's like a shower head above his throne. So,
Mm,
is that a thing? That's a thing, probably. That seems,
maybe if you have a really, really compact bathroom.
yeah. I'm not saying it's a
I'm
great thing. I'm not saying, but I'm saying if you need to conserve space, one of those things is up top and the other is down below. So it seems like something you could stack. Like those that seems like something you could easily stack on top of each other, not use at the same time. That's your life. I'm not telling you use it at the same time, but I'm saying, you
Well,
know,
actually, okay. So, actually, hi. So, Hitesh, thank you for joining us, Insomnia City. So, I believe you are from the UK. Yes. And when I first visited, I was staying with a friend who it's the first time I've experienced a bathroom, washroom, toilet, whatever you call that, where the shower just had this tiny little piece of glass, but the rest of it was open and there was no curtain or anything like that. And this bathroom was carpeted. So,
oh,
and it was so damp. And the towel would never fully dry. It
oh
was
no.
just really uncomfortable. And now not every washroom was like that. And so his flat was just a little bit sketchy. And he warned me, it's a little damp. can never really get fully dry. But the water would splash on the carpet because there was no
Ooh,
curtain and there was no full glass to keep you in there. And I just thought, who designed this?
ooh, boy,
So
one day that
very close
floor is just
situation
going
to
to
what you
drop into the
described.
next one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not pleasant, but it was my first trip to the UK and it was amazing. But that damp was a bit of a downer. I'm saying, ew, that is so bad. Yeah.
That is, yeah. Ooh is so bad. That's right. CK. Oh, this is true too. Driving for sure helps a lot. My ideas come when I'm driving, like adult diapers. Well, we started this sentence, we got to finish it. Like adult diapers with things adults like: sports teams, tool appliance brands, etc.
Yes, CK has brought that up before. It's like, do you think people would want adult diapers? If there were adult diapers, would they have like sports brands and logos on them? And I think yes. And the first thing I thought of was if you were to market an adult diaper, probably tailgating would be one of the main audiences you would actually want to target. And you of course want to have your team on there.
They have bathrooms at tailgates, right? They have
Do
to.
they?
I
I
don't.
don't know.
I've never
I've
been.
I've never been to a big major league tailgate, so I can't say.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a brand opportunity. There's a marketing opportunity there.
Mhm.
So
We did have, when I was in university, there was an idea thrown around of having a party where you wear a diaper so that you just don't ever have to worry about the washroom. And so we said we would call it a potty.
did that potty go off?
It never happened.
Sure.
No, I don't think anyone was willing to actually give it a try.
Or
But it was
maybe there were
amusing.
people, maybe people attended the party or the potty and thought maybe they were wearing it underneath and they were like having that potty, but they,
Oh, I thought this was a potty.
ooh, good thing I brought shorts. So
Oh, this went sideways. But I'm going to mention that based on some of the chat here on ideas and getting ideas, is that it seems like a lot of the places where people get ideas are when you don't readily have a way to capture them. Would you agree?
yeah, so what do you do? Because that's a huge problem of mine. So I always have my phone with me because I always have like Google Keep because I know as soon as I write it down in Google Keep, it syncs to everything. So then I can always find it. So for me, Google Keep has been a huge help. But yeah, that is a little
But yeah, so
frustrating.
if you're driving or if you're in the shower
Yep.
or depending, I mean, a lot of people do bring their phone to the toilet now, but there are a lot of places where because you're doing something else and your mind's just kind of on autopilot, you're not using that prefrontal cortex, that executive functioning, you're just kind of going on muscle memory. That's where your brain is free to have these ideas, but you are actually doing something else. And so you can't necessarily write it down right away. So I think often I'm trying to think of a way to repeat it maybe a few times until I can remember it. I'm not a big fan of Siri, so I don't actually use that, but I guess that would be a good tool for someone who uses Siri or another um what's the other one called?
Google Home. I have
Yeah,
one of
one of those.
those.
What
I'll
do you
shout at
say
my
to
Google
an
Home
Android?
sometimes.
What do you say to an Android though?
That's exactly what you say. You say, "Hey Google," and then you wake my phone up. um, yeah, that's what I do. I will shout at my Google to take a note. I'll be like, "Hey, take a note," and it'll do that
Yeah,
pretty well.
that's smart. I don't know. I think I have I have not gotten on board with any of those tools, and it probably is a bit of a, what's the word? My late late adoption towards one of those, or maybe never adoption. I feel like that's a sign of my crotchety age of like I'm not gonna trust a device.
I don't
Anyway,
want people to listen in on my private time,
yeah,
that sort of
kind
stuff.
of. I
Yeah,
mean, it's already listening to me, so
If it wants, you know what, I kind of use, well, I use a terrible mindset. I'm sure people would think I'm stupid, but I'm like, if people really want access to my stuff, they're gonna get it.
Hmm.
So, which
Yeah,
is,
that's
and
probably
also
true.
I'm like, I don't really have a lot of interesting things. I got a lot of dumb notes. If you want those,
Well, and then my question, CK said, I turn on my audio recording feature and I ramble. Do you ever listen? So that's
mm,
my challenge. Is I have made audio notes in the past. I'm not sure I've ever listened to a single audio note that I've made, so I don't really do it very much.
this reminds me. Um, I'm going to make a video. Has anybody used Descript? I've started using Descript, and I haven't really
Oh,
talked
you
much about it.
did?
What?
Oh, I'm curious. It's on my list. It's on my wish list, but I have not
Oh,
invested in it.
baby, is it amazing? It is creepy amazing because you can literally. So one thing it types. So here, there's so many cool.
Do you wanna fill everyone in if they aren't? I'm sure a few people here are familiar with it, but if anyone's watching who's never heard of Descript, what does it do?
So I'm going to give you a poor explanation, and then I would just recommend going to the website and downloading a 7-day trial and testing it yourself because you can really deep dive into it and it's pretty cool. So Descript, um, basically you can upload a video and if you doing a live stream, for instance, and it will process that for a little while. And with a 90% accuracy, it's not great for me. I don't talk as clearly as I should. And that's one thing Descript has made me
Oh,
very aware of.
oh,
Also,
you
it
just
made
disappeared.
um so thank God my mouth is still working. So I'll just keep talking. And I'll also turn the camera back on. I don't know where it went. So what Descript is it allows you to upload video, and what it does is it processes that video, and then along the left-hand side, it will show you everything you said, and you can jump to any part of that video as if you were reading a text document. So you can simply
So
say,
it transcribes it,
yes, it
but it also
transcribes it.
helps you jump to that point in the video.
Yes. And the other amazing thing is you can do this for podcasts. You can do this for anything. You can upload your notes. And that's what made me think of this. You can upload your notes and think, oh, that moment that I spoke about um, football, for instance, I was thinking specifically about this word. You can search for that word and it'll take you to that exact moment, which is pretty cool. I'm also going to go to this shot for a second so it's less weird. You know what's upsetting
So
about this is I feel like I got
yeah.
cast as a narrator and I don't feel like this is I
Except
don't
your
feel like I'm going to
camera
get
just
enough attention.
decided your camera decided it didn't want to show you anymore.
Yeah, it
So
canceled me.
my understanding, the thing that made me excited about Descript was that you can allegedly, I haven't tried it myself, but if you did have a verbal tick, you were saying like or any of those, you can actually just select them and delete them, and it
Hmm.
will actually edit your video and splice your video. It'll just take that part out. That to me seemed really fascinating. And then the other was some of the ways that you can just clip a specific part of your video and then use that for other pieces of content.
Yep.
I think that's really excited. Or the audiogram, which is something that I have seen other people do where they on their maybe Instagram feed or on a story, they will have a segment of them and they'll kind of see the speech going up like they're talking, but it's actually looks like a static image for the most part with the talking. So a clip of a podcast,
Hmm.
you can have that, but there's a visual element to it. So it is kind of moving around. It can keep your attention, but you are mostly just listening to an audio clip. I think that's really exciting.
So the thing that really blew my mind too with it, and I tested this, I wrote a whole sentence out. I don't know how it does it, but it's pretty incredible. Is that if you are, it kind of analyzes your voice, it figures out how you say things, and you literally can go into the text document, write out words or sentences, and it will make you say those. You
Oh, so you
can
could use it
like,
for a deep.
yeah, it's 100% deep fake stuff. It's mind blowing. I haven't tested it with video, just with audio. But boy, with audio, like if you go in there and clean up a podcast and say like, oh, I better say the name of the person I'm interviewing, you can literally say like, now please welcome Paul Burke, and it will as Cat say that. It's weird, but pretty
Oh,
spectacular.
yeah, it's so interesting.
It's
Well,
not perfect. It's not perfect,
yeah,
but it's pretty darn close. It's
we have a secret guest that we are not allowed to, to share that she's here chatting. Hello, Callie. Thank you for joining. We are talking about Descript and how creepy but amazing it is, and that part is freaking me out a little. The
it's pretty
I don't know
cool.
how. So can it do it if it's got enough video footage of you? Would it be able to do that, or that would make me? I don't know if that would work.
Um, I'll keep
Voice thing makes
exploring that.
sense.
I haven't. You're right, CK. It is a little pricey, which sucks. But I think what would be really interesting is to what I want to start using it for is, or experiment using it for, is that sometimes my live streams are like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, oh, there was something funny that I want to clip that I did, and I can only remember like a word or two. I can,
Mm.
rather than watch the entire thing or scrub through it, which can be hard because when you're scrubbing, you can't tell what you're saying. This allows you to just keyword search for that exact moment, clip it, you're done. I mean, you can save up to like 30, 45 minutes. So,
Yeah, I think if you are someone who is creating a fair amount of content, or even if it's not a fair amount, but you have regular content, that you would be offsetting the time it would take to clip it and change it and edit it all yourself, and to just do that a lot faster. So I
mhm,
think it's weighing, do I put my content or little sound bites or all of that stuff in other areas? And the other thing, the reason that I'm interested, so I have not invested in it at
mhm,
this moment. The thing that intrigues me the most is that something I've been lagging on is I've been putting out content but not putting it on, say, my website. So I have two websites, and I don't like, so for the Ditching Diets and Die, for example, right now a lot of people are searching and they're finding my content on YouTube, but there are people who are just searching in Google. If I actually had blog posts to correspond with those videos, and I could take a transcript and just parse it out and maybe take some of the key points, put that in so that from an SEO, a search standpoint, someone's going to
mhm.
find that blog post and they can connect to that video and find that video that way through Google. So that's one of those areas where I feel like having that transcript function could help me then pump out a blog post a lot faster, instead of me feeling overwhelmed with the idea of, okay, I made a video, now I need to write a blog post to go along with it. So that's the part that's one of the appeals. There are a few appeals about it.
So I had an idea, and I haven't tried this yet, but I want to, you know how I mentioned I wanted to get Dragon, the talk to
Yeah.
text, and they're really
Yeah,
good.
the
It's
one I
like,
thought would change my life.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, but no, but for me, Kat, it's going to change my life. Uh, might not work for you, but for me, it will. It has to. Um,
Yeah.
so what I was thinking about doing was using that in conjunction with streaming. So rather than like going to Rev and saying, "Hey Rev, can you transcribe this 2 hour um, video or something?" I'll have the transcription from Dragon alongside with the recording, and then I can use that almost as like use that instead of hiring Rev, and then you could use that for like SEO, blog posts, stuff like that. Just kind of what you said through Dragon. I don't know.
I'm confused.
Got it.
So would
Yeah.
Dragon, would you be just having Dragon record while you're recording?
Yes.
Okay. But
Yes.
since you are using Descript now, would you need Dragon?
Descript is not that great. It's
Oh.
I mean, it's good, but it's not like Dragon level good. I mean, you definitely could pick one or the other. I think the nice thing about Descript is like finding those clips and then oh, here's the other thing too. Sorry, I'm all over the place. You can also upload the text from Dragon into Descript, so it's a more accurate
Ah.
um version of it too. So you can kind of combine forces to be unstoppable. Now you can choose one. I think it's a lot like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Together, stronger. But
Yeah.
they could always fight individually as the blue or the red or the green. You can do that as Descript as the blue and, Dragon is, the red Power Ranger. But together, that's really where they
Total
overcome
world domination.
total world domination. Um, yep, that's
Here's a
my
good point.
interpretation.
So CK has mentioned, do you know you can do that with YouTube? You can find your script, search the keywords, and it has timestamps. So yeah, I learned that from our friends over at Live Streaming Pros that you can get your transcript filed from YouTube, which I didn't know until then. And so, but I didn't know that you have timestamps on that. So that's really interesting.
I did know about the timestamps. I did know. See, and this might be my fault too, CK. My mouth doesn't smoothly say words. So when I get those when I get those transcriptions back, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is what's happening. Was I having a seizure during this?"
Marbles in your mouth.
Yeah, marbles? And I
So
don't because I have to use them to count all mistakes. So they're all busy counting my mistakes. I have none left for my mouth. I make that
no
many
more
mistakes.
marbles. I so I'm noticing our time and we're coming up to the hour. So I wanted to ask is what's coming up for you? What are you working on? I mean, we're closing out the year pretty soon, but is there anything on the horizon that you're excited about?
So I had such a dumb bit idea last night and I was super excited and I set everything up, but then I didn't use it for last night's live. So I am going to use it here pretty soon, maybe today or tomorrow. Um, it's so dumb, but I'm very excited about it. So I want to do that. The other thing I'm doing is I'm just challenging myself every day to go live for at least 30 minutes. That's it.
Ah,
Um, because like I was saying yesterday in live, what is kind of forcing me to do is I'm a very impatient person and I hate boring people. So if I'm going live every day for at least 30 minutes, it's really forcing myself to be creative and try to do different and new things because I'm like, well, I don't want to just do the same stuff I was doing last time. I want to, add something new. And that's kind of where this idea, this little bit for the live stream came from yesterday, just kind of pausing for a second, being like, I want to do something new.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing?
So one of the things that I'm really excited about my microphone. And I think I mentioned last week that I had an outpouring of ideas and I was dividing what's going to be recorded, what's going to be live content. And I am I'm right in the middle of updating my YouTube page and my web page and all of that. So I'm making my pivot from the My Happy Insides over to Cat Mulvihill. But what I set up today, or I started to set up, is that I'm going to actually create a calendar for my channel that I will populate. So it's a public Google Calendar where we'll actually have the live and the link to the live and the topic so that anyone who's interested, I mean, we're all busy. So if you are interested, you could subscribe and that way it shows up in your Google Calendar. So if you are someone who really does want to learn the content on creating more engaging and professional looking online presentations, which is sort of my new focus, then you could have that in your calendar. You could see when new recorded videos are going to be released, but also see when my live videos are going to be released, and then have the link already there in your calendar. So I'm working on that, and that's pretty exciting.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to set up, right? Because you just create a new calendar and then make it public, and people can subscribe to it. Now I'll have to make sure that I keep up with it, but it's a nice way for those who are interested. Instead of constantly trying to hope that they see your promotion or this or that, there's a way to just have that out there. So that's something that so over the next week, I'm going to be putting together the actual schedule, say for the next 4 weeks. These are the topics. This is what's coming down the pipe. And then that way people will actually know what's coming. And then I'm going to have that on my channel so I can, anyone who wants to see what's coming up, they can click on the calendar. And you can also you don't have to subscribe, but you can just click on the calendar at any time and see what's upcoming. So that's it's, it's pretty exciting for me.
That's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, hey, Callie. Welcome to the show.
I
And
said hi to
yes,
Callie earlier.
what?
I said
I know
hi,
you said
Callie, there.
hello. I did not, so I felt rude not
Okay.
addressing it. But I guess our powers combined, if one of us says hello, then it counts for both of us. That's probably how I should approach this. No, CK, I am not suggesting troll me more. That is not my goal. Paul is
Keep
losing
him
it.
on his
That's true.
toes. Oh, you know what? One other thing. Now that I have my new microphone, I think I might test out knitting because I may have mentioned this a number of weeks ago. I had this idea of doing nerding out and knitting on Twitch and just showing my whatever knitting project and then just hang out and chat about things that I like pop culture and Netflix shows and you name it. And I was always really nervous to do that with my old microphone because it picks up every single sound. But now that I have a dynamic mic, I can actually potentially do like try out, test stream. And I told a friend about it. She's like, "Oh, it's kind of like a stitch and bitch session." I was like, "I guess so."
That's a
Anyhow,
pretty.
so that is the knitting out and nerding kind of concept. Because I knit almost every single day, and I think for people, even if you don't care at all about knitting, it's actually kind of interesting to see projects come alive. And there are some that I'm working on. Like right now, I'm working on these socks, and so they knit up pretty quickly. So you can actually see how a sock is made because on the surface it seems kind of complicated, but once you see it come together, it's like actually pretty exciting. I get nerdy about a lot of things.
Callie used to do stitch and bitch.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's so. Callie, do you knit? I guess you used to do stitch and bitch, so maybe maybe you do. That's
So
awesome.
this is going to be a real beginner level question. Are knitters also stitchers? Are they the same thing?
Well, oh, that's a really good
Is all
question.
knitting stitching? Is all stitching knitting?
Well, you create a stitch every time you knit. And I guess I would say, so I'm not as you know, I'm not like, I don't crochet. Partly because I've never
We
actually
all know.
tried it, but yeah, so Callie, I put down the needles in March. I was working on a sweater, and actually I could, if I start up this knitting nerding out stream, then I could show the sweater and where I got. But I actually made it really far, but then I stopped on the first sleeve. I haven't picked it up since March, and then I started knitting again. I think what 2 months ago maybe. And as the winter got, or as it was getting cooler, I started knitting again. But I've really loved it. So that's where that idea came from. And the point that I'll come back to about stitching, I'm pretty sure
A
that
little bit of this
a
and a little bit of
little bit of
that.
that. Oh, I love that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I think crocheting would actually be making a stitch too. Anytime you're making a new, you're adding on a stitch.
Got it.
So it's, yeah, I would say knitting, but you don't say I'm stitching, but stitch and bitch
Oh.
rhymes. Knit and
Yeah,
oh,
if you
knit
run
and
into
bitch
somebody who
kind of
say like,
rhymes too.
yeah, if you say like, yeah, somebody says like I'm stitching, I'm like, oh, I don't even respect you anymore. You're like,
Yeah. And then maybe I'll buy one of those fun. So I was looking up, and Paul also was looking up, so I was talking about this knitting idea, t-shirts that have cats who are knitting on them. And I think you found one, Paul, that was like a crochet one, and I was like, oh no, I don't crochet. I was very snobby about it. But the only I'm sure it'd be fine. I just don't do it. And so I was like, I'm a knitter. I don't crochet.
I don't hang out with
It's pretty funny.
crochet people. Gross. Those are not my people.
See, snitches get stitches, but knitters get stitched. Yeah. So, but I would say even if you don't give a hoot about knitting, it still might be a fun thing to hang out and just chat about nerdy things because I am a nerd. I like to just talk about things, but then see a project come to life. And
Also,
then
be
maybe I
sure
could
to
give away a few of those things too.
and if I would say definitely go check out Kat's channel, and also if you want to check out my crochet corner where I accept everybody and I don't judge. Anybody's welcome at Crochet Corner. It's pretty great. We just hang out
Well,
and just get to be ourselves and not get
Paul, now I
judged.
really want you to honestly give crochet a try.
What do people crochet? What
Crusty
do you make?
crochet corner. Crusty crochet corner, but we welcome all.
Crusty Crochet Corner. Welcome to the CCC. where it's always a good time.
Triple C.
And it's
Yeah.
always warm
Okay.
because we're all crocheted. All right. We could probably do this
Well,
for a very
we've
long
got some,
time.
yeah, we've got some exciting things to look forward to, and that's great. And we are going to be back again next week for another Are We Live Now, to our final one of 2020, which is pretty exciting.
And do you want to say what it is? Kind of, we'll let people know what it is so they can think of things to ask if they want.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is next week we are going to just do an AMA. So you can ask us anything about literally anything about live streaming or otherwise. So it'll be an AMA. Yeah, next. I think
It took me an embarrassingly long time to know what AMA stood for. A lot of people were like, "Hey, I'm going to do an AMA," and I was like, "I don't know what that is." So I think I Googled it, saw it, and then forgot it again, and then had to re-Google it the next time another person said they were doing one.
honestly, first time I heard AMA too, I was like, "Oh, the American Movie Association. Did they come out with new recommendations?" I literally thought it was the AMA, but no. Ask me anything. So we'll be doing that next week. A manic
Yeah,
alligator. Yes, that also.
totally viable.
We are both going to be inviting a manic alligator in for next week and see who lives. This will be exciting.
But yeah, it should be fun. So we can look forward to that. And then, yeah, in the new year, we'll have some new exciting guests and it'll be fun. Oh, a crochet versus knit show. Oh, that could be a fun little stitch off.
Oh, a stitch down. Stitch off. I like it.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, until next week, I guess, right?
Yeah, this has been fun. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we both learned that live streaming is valuable and worth doing today.
And everyone, no matter what you celebrate, have a wonderful holiday season and stay safe.
Yeah. Happy holidays. See you guys.